This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Well, hey, good morning to you. It is Friday. Welcome on to First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Hope you're having a fantastic day in for the day today. Yes, our winter storm is finally starting to trail away, although I will say we will probably have some lingering effects here later on today to worry about just a little bit longer. Yes, but remember, our First Alert Weather Day is pretty much done with. We were still having it ongoing around 9 a.m. because we still had some showers left in the region, both rain and snow. But since then, I think we're fine. I think we've gotten rid of most of our wet weather out of the region. But again, as I mentioned, there's still lingering effects for the rest of the day. We still have the cloud cover pretty much stuck in place here throughout the rest of the pretty much the entire region for the rest of the day today. We have that going for us. It's going to be a wet, soggy ground as a result still, especially since the sun's not going to be out to dry it later on today. And lastly, especially with that moisture stuck here through tonight, it's going to be another bitter cold night. In fact, tonight's expected to get colder than this morning, actually. So we could have some of the ground refreezing again, which could help to sustain some of that snowpack that's actually hitting the northern edge of the region here from our First Alert Weather Day here from today and yesterday. So again, thankfully all the precipitation is pretty much done with. We just have a little bit of some drizzles and a little bit of some flurries still here and there that are coming in on the reports that aren't even being picked up by the radar, but they're flurries and drizzles at best, honestly, as of right now. All right, so let's look at what we've got on top for the rest of the day. So once we get rid of this First Alert Weather Breakdown, or not First Alert Weather Breakdown, once we get rid of the weekend. No, that's not right either. Guys, it's the end of my shift. It's the end of the work week. It's Friday. Once we get rid of the rest of this storm coverage here in the region, which again is in the process of happening / should happen still within the next hour or two, we'll be smooth sailing in for the weekend, which guess what? I think you'll really enjoy the weekend forecast that we have upcoming. A lot more comfortable, and it features a good amount of sunshine as well. On top of that, we'll also have a regional forecast for those of you traveling outside of the Arklatex this weekend. It should be great as long as you aren't traveling too far east, although that's mainly for today. A lot of winter storm warnings set up for today in areas just off to our east. So watch out for that if you're heading out towards Atlanta. Atlanta's getting absolutely dumped on by a good amount of snow. That's our snow storm having a huge bit of coverage. We still have snow up into Little Rock if you go farther up into Arkansas here today. And we're also facing, the snow all the way from Little Rock all the way over to Atlanta. We'll look at the big picture of the radar here in just a little bit. But we'll go into a regional travel forecast for those of you going outside the Arklatex here for the weekend. But let's get inside. It's still gloomy. It's still wet. You can tell there's little droplets showing up on our Mattress Plus Skycam. So we're not in the clear entirely just yet. But our First Alert Weather Breakdown, or our First Alert Weather Day, there we go, is pretty much done with here for the rest of today. Also, just a quick note for programming. We're not streaming on Facebook here today, again, with our First Alert Weather Day pretty much being done with, but we are still on YouTube. For those of you on YouTube, can make a comment or question asking anything you need weather-wise here for the rest of the day. Any weather questions that you have with the rest of this forecast. Again, it's wrapping up. That's the best way I can describe it on for the rest of today. Hopefully we get rid of pretty much the rest of the precipitation within the next hour or two. But right now, again, still some drizzles showing up on the Mattress Plus Skycam, but again, they're drizzles at best. You can see how tiny those water droplets are on the Mattress Plus Skycam that we have there in Shreveport. Overall, here are some of the snowfall totals that we've gotten here from the day today. In fact, I've just realized something. Oh, man. Sorry. I realized my graphics aren't hooked up to this picture-in-picture real quick. So I actually got to go in and dive in really quickly to... Sorry, just a little bit of some technical difficulties behind the scenes. That's all. I'm getting my weather graphics up actually right now. Should be coming up right now. There we go. Beautiful. My first graphic on my weather graphics was the Mattress Plus Skycam. Just a little fun fact. And then I clicked change graphics and I was like, why is it not changing? Why is it not changing? I'm like, oh, it's because it's just taking only the camera. That probably means nothing to you. But anyways, I now have control of the graphics is my point. So you're not waiting on me to change graphics. Anyways, all right, snowfall totals. This is what we've gotten so far. Not too much, but, I mean, that kind of goes to show most of it was rain or just freezing rain. We've gotten several freezing rain reports up to 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch in some areas around Texarkana. These are the main snowfall totals that we've gotten. Again, most of this on the northern edge of the Arklatex. And this is also why we had the first alert weather day. It's because of how much snow we knew we were getting from the system in the northern edge of the region. To Queen, 8 inches of snow. McCurtain County, it got up to 6. Dirks up to 9 inches of snowfall. Very, very impressive in those areas, which is unfortunately causing still some traffic issues, still some traffic delays that were found out early this morning. That continues on still even now as well. So a little bit of lingering rain in Shreveport, but you can tell the rest of the region is just starting to clear things up. Natchitoches Center, Mount Pleasant, all dry but cloudy and very chilly. Might I add that as well. All right, so here's the first alert look to your Doppler radar. Again, you can see how massive the system is, adding mixed showers all the way over into the Carolinas here, stretching all the way as far west as Arkansas, just not stretching as far west as southwestern Arkansas, unless you're dealing with some snow flurries around the northern edge of the Arklatex. So I'm going to zoom in on this map real quick, but you can tell that the bulk of the wet weather is still way off to our east. You might face a little bit of a drizzle again, as we saw on our Shreveport camera there, and some of that's also rolling in areas south and east of Shreveport too. Maybe some in Texarkana, and a little bit of some light flurries looks like they're just to the northern end of Texarkana too, maybe western end of Longview. But this should continue on again next hour or two. After the next hour or two, guess what? We are bonito. Future track, again, for the next few hours, we're continuing to see everything fade away, although look what hangs around the cloud cover, and that's going to determine a number of things with our weather. Number one, again, that's how our moisture is going to be pretty much trapped at the surface. None of it's going to heat up at all and be gone, so we should still... Unfortunately, we could still see some good wet roadways through the rest of your Friday until we finally get the sunshine out by tomorrow. If you notice, there's still been a little bit of some sunshine hanging around here for tomorrow, actually. Or, excuse me, a little bit of cloud cover still hanging around here for tomorrow morning. That could result in some freezing fog here to wake on up here for your Saturday morning. You also noticed that maybe a little tiny chance of rain in the region, actually, for Sunday. Overall, I'm not expecting, if that creeps into the Arklatex, maybe expected to creep into Hemp Hill or Natchitoches, but I'm not expecting any other rain chance besides that here for your Sunday. Overall, we are dry for the next several days. All right, so for the feels like temperature this afternoon, just so you know, feels like temperatures this morning currently are in the upper 20s. This afternoon, they're in the lower 30s. So they don't change that much, mainly because of just how chilly it is. And most importantly, remember the cloud cover hangs around for the afternoon. Case in point, we aren't warming things up here later on today. So watch out for, again, still some freezing conditions and cloud cover stuck at the surface, even though we're dropping most of the precipitation by the afternoon hours. And by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, some of you might be waking up in the teens, especially in the northern half of the Arklatex, Texarkana, and Queen. Going to be very cold morning to start off with some freezing fog potentially around there. And then we get the sun out Saturday afternoon. And look what that does to us as well in the process. Look at that. 40 about Shreveport, 44 in Mansfield. That's just the feels like temperatures as well. Highs are the actual highs are expected to stretch up to 50 degrees for Saturday, 55 on Sunday. Again, all thanks to the sunshine, all thanks to no rain, at least for Shreveport. 7-day forecast. Again, once we're done with just the last hour, two around here with the drizzling conditions around, after we toss that aside, welcome in some nice sunshine Saturday, Sunday, and also all the way into next week too. Highs, again, getting up to the mid-50s on Sunday, and they pretty much stand still for the most part. Low to mid-50s throughout most of next week, maybe even reaching up to 60 degrees on Thursday. That's because we could focus a little more of some warmer, more moist air into the region here by the end of next week, and we actually have our next rain chance coming either Friday or Saturday of next week. But that's still 6 days of consecutive sunshine and dry conditions. So a good, nice, long, lengthy, dry period to enjoy. I am looking forward to it, especially with the slightly warmer conditions. Notice the lows, though, still getting down to the 30s for most of those nights. So still bitter cold at nighttime. All right, so let's look at your local forecast. Again, much better. Certainly much better than the winter storm we're currently dealing with, and still, I guess, technically dealing with for the next hour or two. Just squeezing out the last little rings of moisture out of the atmosphere before getting some sunshine back out by tomorrow. All right, we'll have a look at your regional travel forecast for those of you traveling around this weekend outside of the Arklatex. We'll have a look at that coming up next. All right, welcome back to First Alert with a Breakdown. We have a now look at your travel forecast all around the Arklatex for those of you traveling around. It's going to be, I will say, it was certainly good to have this, at least good in my opinion, for you to enjoy the weekend. Have most of this wet weather, most of this rain, and most of the snow coming on through today rather than, say, the weekend to ruin your weekend. Also, shout out to Leslie. Leslie says thank you for the forecast, or I'm guessing just for the forecast, but she just said thank you. You're welcome. Absolutely. Again, I'm watching the YouTube comments live on the stream. If you have any questions or comments, thanks to the 26 of you that have dropped on by on our YouTube page. Also, thanks you for watching, period, on KSLA.com and anywhere you're watching our live stream. Alrighty, let me get out. So I just wanted to intro with that real quick, and then let's go back to our big regional outlook here. So again, even though we're done, it is still a soaking cold rain into New Orleans, Jackson. You got still snow showers lingering around Little Rock if you're traveling anywhere else. Overall, east is not looking good. That's because our winter storm has gone east. Here for the Arklatex, there's even a stray shower left, looks like by Dallas out west technically, but so conditions aren't looking too good for now, but they clear up. I will say they do clear up, and let's look at that in the future track. Now, first of all, a little disclaimer, this future track, which always helps us see things beyond just the Arklatex, it does not account for snow. So if you're asking me, Evan, why do I only see rain out to the east? Is it just magically changing to rain showers? And the answer is no. This future track, unfortunately, cannot decipher between types of precipitation. It's just precipitation happening to be moving eastward on this future track. So it moves fairly quickly. By the end of tonight, most of that wet weather's in Atlanta. It's out of New Orleans, out of Memphis, Jackson, Little Rock, definitely by the end of today. And even by tomorrow, looks like we'll be clearing up most of that cloud cover for most areas around us, honestly, to enjoy a pretty fantastic Saturday. Then you get into Sunday. Sunday, we will actually have a little surge that comes out of the south, if you see there. Just a little disturbance coming out of the Gulf of Mexico that's going to give us some hefty rain chances, mainly into New Orleans. That was what was showing up on our future track actually locally here that was looking like it might go into Natchitoches. This future track has this rain coverage mainly just hanging around Alexandria, Lafayette, areas off to our south. I'm not expecting that to hit the Arklatex really at all, quite frankly. But it will hit regionally New Orleans, probably looking like the day on Sunday and maybe a little bit around Houston, or probably midday Sunday as well before that goes farther off to the east. And then real quick, heading into next week, we're looking mostly dry here anywhere around here, which is good to enjoy some nice calm conditions. So yeah, just one more little disturbance that looks to affect southeast Louisiana, it looks like. But besides that, we're pretty much done with everything. I'm looking forward to a break. Not just for the weekend, but a break in the wet weather as well. All right, so here's a current condition outlook around the region. Dallas dealing with just some leftover snow showers in for this morning, but they're just about done. Little Rock still is underneath a good hefty snowfall right now in central Arkansas with temperatures around 30 degrees. New Orleans, it is cold and it is raining all day long today. Besides that, Jackson for now holding off with some cloud cover, but I will say there's rain around there, and so is Houston hanging around with the cloud cover there. High temperatures today, and this is a look at your outlook. Dallas, again, dealing with those leftover snow showers throughout the day today. So is Little Rock. So is New Orleans with the wind. High temperatures, getting up to 54 in New Orleans. Only 38 in Dallas. Little Rock, 36 degrees. Overall highs are only in the upper 30s today. So it's bitter cold all around the region, at least for this day today. Then heading into tomorrow, I know we don't say tomorrow on the graphic, but these are the conditions that you're expecting in for your Saturday. If you notice, the sun shines out for everybody. Again, as we saw, the system moves farther out east and eventually quickly rolls off the east coast, and that's going to allow us to enjoy a pretty good weekend anywhere. It's still going to be a little cold and for some areas. Little Rock still only a high of 38 degrees for tomorrow. Besides that, we're looking to get most of our regional areas in the upper 40s for the most part. 56 in Houston. And then heading into Sunday, gets even warmer, especially around Monroe and Jackson, 56 and 58 degrees. Just might be dealing with the rain from another incoming system that's mainly just going to hit our coastal areas on Sunday. New Orleans looking like some good rain chances coming on Sunday after a little break on Saturday. And the same case with Houston. Looks like rain's going to come into Houston on that day too. Besides that, if you're anywhere off the coast for Sunday, I think you'll still be fairly dry. It's still going to be a little chilly, though, especially in Dallas and Little Rock, 47 and 44 degrees, respectively. All right, so that was a quick look at your regional forecast. Coming up next, we'll kind of recap this work week, recap our winter storm a little bit here, and we'll look forward to some sunshine next week, and we'll look forward to what we have in store on our podcast heading into next work week as well. I'll give some hints as to what's happening heading into next week's worth of First Alert Weather Breakdown podcasts coming up after one last break. All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Breakdown. I am meteorologist Evan Thompson. Thank you very much for stopping on by. Again, our winter storm is just coming to an end. Again, we have a few drizzles of rain. We have a few flurries of snow, but they're flurries and drizzles at best. Honestly, all around the Arctics overall, we're drying out within the next hour or two completely. Cloud cover still remains for the rest of the day, but I'm hopefully looking forward to, and hopefully you're looking forward to, a pretty sunny weekend ahead. Yeah, that'll be great. To get a break from all this. Whole 24 hours of hanging around with this winter storm. Again, the lingering effects are still going to remain. We still have power outages around the region. We still have number of snow-covered roads as well. McCurtain County and Oklahoma, and way up in the northern edge of the Arklatex, up by Hope, Nashville, DeQueen, those areas. So still make sure you're weather aware throughout the entirety of today, and watch out for roads potentially even refreezing up there as well, especially with it getting even colder for tonight. So be on the lookout for that. As for me in the First Alert Weather Breakdown, thanks for watching. If you want to send us a weather topic, you can do that at weatherbreakdown@ksla.com. You can also message us on Facebook. And, yeah, we do this every single weekday at 10:30, which means we're off for the next 2 days, unfortunately. But we'll be back on Monday at 10:30. Got a week's worth full of episodes next week. But, again, if you want to send us a topic that you want us to discuss here in the Weather Breakdown, we discuss anything weather-wise, from explaining science, explaining how things work in weather, essentially. I shouldn't just say science. Woo. We also talk about topics in the Arklatex happening. Next week, we have a cool Met Chat going on. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence and AI and how that could help out weather or how that could hurt weather. It's a controversial topic, honestly. We're gonna look and dive into that, all four of us, as a part of the Met Chat. For those of you who don't know what a Met Chat is, it's when we get all four of the KSLA News 12 First Alert meteorologists together in one place, one time, once a week. It's very hard for us to do that once a week because all of our deferring schedules. Matt works 2 p.m. to I think it's somewhere in the ballpark of 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. or it could be 3 p.m. to, I think it's 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. I work 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. So the point is we have deferring schedules. It's hard for us to meet at one place at one time, especially on different sleeping schedules. But we make it work, again, for once a week for you guys. We have a topic with AI next week that'll be really fun, really cool. CJ will be back again next week with a TikTok Tuesday. And I think for Monday, we're going to try to do one or two things. I'm still waiting on word for somebody. I'm trying to get an interview next week with the National Weather Service, kind of recapping the winter storm. I really want to do that. And I want to look into different kinds of precipitation because I know some people might be wondering about that. There's differences between snow, sleet, freezing rain, and we've kind of all discovered that within this system all at once. I think most of you know the differences between them, but some of you don't. And it could be confusing, even to me sometimes. So we're going to review over the different types of precipitation and go over the science of that on either Monday or some other time next week. Basically, I'm trying to make the interview happen on Monday. If the interview doesn't happen on Monday, I'm still scheduling that out. If that doesn't happen on Monday, then we'll look at the different types of precipitation, essentially. Anyways, thanks for watching First Alert Weather Breakdown. You enjoy the rest of your day. Still drive safely, regardless of the precipitation being mostly gone. Again, we do have a chance of re-icing those roads, unfortunately, again for tonight. So stay weather aware about that. And First Alert about it. But I'm just looking forward to a break, honestly. Enjoy the weekend full of sunshine. You got highs into the 50s, gladly, here on both days for Saturday and Sunday. And also carrying on into next work week. All right, I'll see you Monday at 10:30. You be there, be square, and most importantly, be weather aware. You have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.